Starting today, earlier than 2:05. Welcome. My name's Brian Engelman. That is Blake Walley, and this is Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. And you are watching the Agree to Disagree show on the New American Media because the old American media has failed you. We're going to talk about Fani Willis in the Georgia case. We're going to talk about DeSantis dropping out. We're going to talk about the deep state. Who are they going to try to run against? Well, who are they going to try to run? Because their plan is to throw Trump into a gulag. So we'll discuss that. Also, what is Biden pushing for with his confusing border policy? Yeah, it's called civil war, and it is. It's astonishing to think that we've allowed our country to fall to pieces like this, and that nobody is paying attention. We'll get into it a little bit further. We're also going to talk about the J6 pipe bombing. What the actual fork is that all about? I said fork, F-O-R-K. And we're going to talk about Alex Soros and his not so thinly veiled, clever threat. Bro, I mean, at what point are the feds supposed to investigate this? And finally, have we reached the end of free speech for Elon Musk and his X platform? So these are the topics we're going to get into, and we're just going to start our show now. And Blake, if you haven't noticed by now, I'm trying to get the fastest 45 minutes in all of news. So that is the game plan for today. Fast, fast, fast. We don't want 2-hour shows anymore. Loud and clear. Message received. All right, first topic. Let's pull this one up. Oh, I got to click the doggone thing. Son of a...
Stingers. Okay. Well, I don't care. Whatever.
Well, that was a stinger. Okay, so here's the one I was trying to show you. I'm going to play a clip from Jay Sekulow. This is about Fani Willis and the debauchery, the shenanigans going on down in Georgia. Devil went down to Georgia indeed. Let's go ahead and full screen this and play the clip. Then we'll get your reaction on the other side. Why isn't it playing? That's weird. Picture in picture. Don't want that. Here we go.
Disaster in Georgia. Fani Willis's persecution, I will say, of some of these people is totally falling apart. There's now an allegation that her lead special counsel that she hired has been paid like 4 or 6 times what everybody else is paid. She has a relationship with the guy, and that they're doing all these trips at basically taxpayer expense. The Fulton County Commission has now opened up an investigation, and the judge has called for a hearing on motions to dismiss.
She has undermined public confidence in this particular case by hiring Nathan Wade, who has demonstrated his capacity to be an expert in romance as opposed to the law.
Here's the damaging part of this. If she's disqualified, Jordan, her office is disqualified. I would dismiss the whole thing, get it done, finished, over, and anybody that's pled guilty, I would allow them to file a motion to rescind their plea, which should be granted. Disaster.
There you go, Blake. A lot of points to pull from that one. I mean, what are we supposed to make of this ongoing saga with Fani Willis paying her boyfriend way more than anybody else is making? A completely unqualified dude. Appears as though they're getting kickbacks to take lavish vacations. You have people who've already pled guilty to this kangaroo court down in Georgia, and Sekulow's saying she's going to she's going to discredit herself, and this all needs to be thrown out with prejudice. And these people who pled guilty are going to need to have these guilty pleas waived. Even that lady, that blonde girl, that former Trump attorney, Jenna Ellis. Oh man, did she turn? I don't know what they threatened her with, but she sang like a canary, buying into the BS. So anyway, what's your take on all of this?
Yeah, Sidney Powell too. Yeah, there's a lot of people that seemed like they were turncoats, and it was another thing that's just blown up in the Democrats' face as they've committed lawfare against the 45th president. So yes, this one is unraveling quickly. Pretty dramatic, because they thought they got the Trump mugshot and everything, and they were going to win on this and jail their biggest political rival and run over with change the course of this election in their favor, but perhaps not. I did pull up a story on this out of the Gateway Pundit. Georgia State Senate to authorize a special committee to investigate Fani Willis now on allegations of criminal misconduct and corruption. So authorize a subpoena-empowered investigative committee to delve into the alleged corruption. The DA of Fulton County. The
And
bottom
you have
line is that
you have you have Kemp, you have Raffensperger, you have all these people who have not stood up for election integrity. They have failed to do proper audits in that state. They seem to be running cover for the Democrats. Even the Republicans in Georgia are playing along with the deep state plan. So it's once again, it's obvious what's going on here, but will repercussions actually befall these people? They seem guilty as sin on the outside. They seem guilty as sin to objective observers. It seems obvious what's going on, and it just kind of feels like nothing's going to happen. Nothing ever happens. Do we expect anything to happen here? What's your gut tell you? Is the tide finally turning, and like there's no way the lies built upon lies can stand anymore, and it's just going to be a house of cards coming down? Or just more of the same crap, more of the same corruption?
Well, this is a huge turning point in the story, and the tables have turned now, and it's just kind of really has happened in the last week or so that this case is falling apart. And they thought they were going to get Trump, and he was going to spend the rest of his days in some jail cell in Atlanta somewhere. But now, yes, it's unraveling. The corruption is blatant. And this could work out in the president's favor and make him even stronger as the election goes down here. So this is a big political hit job that has failed. And now we've also got, judge unsealing divorce records of Trump prosecutor Nathan Wade after the bank statements show he was traveling with Fani Willis. So this was all a coordinated effort to take down the president and all of his, how many, they have 19 people on his staff, including Giuliani. I mean, they went after everybody, and a lot of them made deals. It was a chill factor. They were going to disbar everybody, but now maybe they're going to have to be disbarred. So pretty crazy. So quite the development. So I want to be optimistic that the things may be turning around here. Not saying they got to go after them, but at least this case is going to go, and it's going to strengthen Trump and his base going into this election year. And of course, the other stupid one falling apart, where he was being accused of rape by E. Jean Carroll, who has zero credibility.
Exactly.
So those are some big wins.
All right. Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one. Next topic. All right, Blake. So you mentioned 45, and I guess this is just as good a place to put this story as any other. Agree or disagree that Alex Soros is covertly calling for an assassination of President Trump? You said 45, and I think he used a different number in the most ridiculous post. Like, is he trying to do a wink and a nudge here? What in the hell? I'm blown away by this story. It seems so simple and so stupid, but it's so brazen. It's creepy.
Yeah, so let me pull up and show everybody what happened. It's unclear exactly if he knew what this picture was, but I think we can kind of assume.
I don't think it's unclear in any way. I don't think there's not one iota of unclearness. There's not a shred of ambiguity here. There's no other interpretation possible.
Right. Oh yeah, no, this picture absolutely says it. I'm not saying that he put this together or not, but he shared it, and I assume he absolutely knows. And why wouldn't he, since he's the son of George Soros, the arch James Bond villain, World Economic Forum.
Ooh, I like that name. I think just like for a bad guy name, Son of Soros. It really has like a Conan the Barbarian kind of vibe for like a bad guy, Son of Soros.
Yeah, and he's certainly, yes. Soros, his father was a pretty evil guy, and now this is basically his spoiled son who's going to inherit everything and be even worse as a activist, a political activist who uses his money to finance radicals to get people, either elected into positions of power or getting his, agenda for different laws or what have you. But as we can see in this picture here is a bullet hole in the glass, and they show the money there. And if you look closely, it's what does it say? 47. There's $47 there. So 20, couple tens, 5, couple ones there. So it's $47 and a bullet hole. Why would they choose that picture? Why does it happen to be $47? Why is there clearly a bullet hole going through glass? This is definitely looks like an assassination threat. Maybe they thought they could get away with it. It came out of the Atlantic, an article who they were the ones that posted it, but he was happy to share it. And I think internally they know exactly what it means, but we're not that. I know they think we're all like stupid and we need our rulers, but we're not that stupid. And we see what the symbolism is there. So they clearly want to get rid of Trump. If it's if they can't get him, with lawfare, then they'll try to take him out with a bullet if they need to. And some people say that there's probably already been several assassination attempts. We have no idea what actually goes on behind the scenes. So we need to protect this man. He is a populist against these demons that the World Economic Forum, these people with all the money and power that want to rule over us, get rid of our pesky Constitution.
And I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky constitutionalists. Oh, that was another story I wanted to put in the stack. Once again, Blake and I have had our conversations about how to most properly, efficiently produce the show. But I say, yeah, we put 5 or 6 stories in there, but then we talk about 30 because it is how it is. Blake, did you see that video where Biden was once again laughing at the blood of patriots, and he messed up the Thomas Jefferson quote, laughing at constitutionalists, and that was another recent. Just kind of poking the patriots. Did you see that clip from Biden?
You did send me that, and I sent you a message saying I wasn't sure if that was old news or if that was from a couple days ago. I didn't see anything.
Well, I mean, we haven't done a show since Thursday, so I mean, you have like 5 days in between shows. So a couple days ago is just as relevant. And if you could play that, this fits right in.
Right. So is this actually a brand new clip? Because I know he said this before years ago. He was mocking people like patriots wouldn't stand a chance against the military, so there's no reason to be armed.
Well, right? Maybe we could.
But I'll play this.
Yeah, we'll play it either way, just as a reminder to who we're dealing with.
Yeah, and it's actually part of the reason why I wore this shirt today.
What's your shirt say?
It says First Amendment defines us and the Second Amendment protects us.
And somebody left a comment and you put it up on the screen, right? Somebody liked your shirt?
Yeah, Frankie.
Hey, Frankie, what's up?
Yeah, this is great. This pretty much symbolizes what America and what the globalists can't stand. They do not like us having freedom of speech on the internet, and they really hate the fact that we have firearms.
They look at us like cattle. They think that we're cattle. They think that we're livestock on their farm.
We have been cattle. Humans have been cattle on this planet for thousands of years. Until they basically, got the Constitution drafted up.
Thank God they did. And here's how Biden feels about your pesky Constitution. This Scooby-Doo villain here wearing a mask. A lot of people talk about real Trump, fake Trump, real Fetterman, fake Fetterman. If there is a real Fetterman left, God, that was so weird how he couldn't put sentences together. Then suddenly a guy comes out looking, let's say, slightly or significantly different, acting slightly or significantly different. And by the way, Fetterman was talking about the border being a mess and threatens the United States. I'm like, this is not the Fetterman we saw. Bumbling, stumbling. Like, he's gotten a couple of things right. I feel like this is the new and improved Fetter monster. I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem like the first guy. But yeah, a lot of people accuse Joe Biden of having several Bidens. There's multiple versions of him out there, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, stammering, falling. Anyway, but here's the version of what he thinks of you and your pesky little Constitution, too.
Right. Yeah. Weird seeing Fetterman being the voice of reason with the Democrats, but it's strange but true. Here we go. Here's Biden.
And I love people who say, the blood of liberty. Or excuse me,
The tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots.
Hold on a second.
Man.
Hold on a second. That is so.
Oh, he makes George W. Bush look like a genius.
This is so perfect. He so confidently, loudly blurts out the wrong thing. Look, fun fact, I was on a game show back in the day, and the very first thing I was asked about that Massachusetts congressional representative, Scott, was it Scott Walker? What was the guy's name?
What, Scott Walker and Madison?
No, not Madison. The guy in Massachusetts that was elected so he could stop Obamacare. And he was the one that was like a male model, and he posed out naked on the cover of Cosmo. And so like the very first question that I was asked on the game show was about him. And I rang in, I'm like, on the cover of what magazine? I'm like, Playgirl. And they're like, no. And someone else goes, Cosmopolitan. And I'm like, oh God, my very first moment speaking to the world on not synchronized, on syndicated television is going to be me yelling Playgirl. So in this clip, just make sure we rewind it from the beginning and play it again, Blake. And you feel free to full screen it too. He blurts out loudly and confidently the wrong thing, and you get the feedback from the microphone like it's a Simpsons clip. Like you're missing the tumbleweed, and you got to have that audio feedback of like that little squeal of feedback. It's the perfect clip. I'm sorry, I just had to point out that clear moment. Playgirl.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it one more time.
At least they couldn't accuse you of reading it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. That's true.
All right, here we go.
Wait. One more fun fact about it. If you were to catch my show in syndication, and by the way, every now and then I start getting text messages from people like, oh my God, I'm watching you on TV. I'm like, oh, I forgot that I was there, and I forgot that they play this stuff nonstop. But they cut out me ringing in and yelling Playgirl. So like my answer that was incorrect, you didn't get penalized points for being incorrect. So just to shave down time, it didn't even exist. I know it existed, because I told you. But if you watch it, it never happened. So that's the power of editing in television. Anyway, fun fact. Let's hear them one more time.
Oh, they love to syndicate those old game shows, don't they?
Oh yeah.
There's at least 2 different channels.
They're evergreen. They're classic content.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Here's Joe Biden, President Joe.
And I love people who say the blood of liberty, or the tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots. Well, guess what, man?
And tyrants.
Patriots and tyrants.
And tyrants.
I see a whole lot of patriots that are out there walking around making sure that we have these weapons. And if you really want to worry about the government, you need an F-16.
So
you need an F-16. Yeah, that's what kicked the U.S. out of Vietnam was F-16s. Okay. How about behind every blade of grass there are people that are willing to lay it all down to keep people like you away from infringing on our civil liberties, pal. The blood of the patriot. What do you say? The blood of what? The blood of what do you say?
We're patriots, not of tyrants.
And you get that faint little squeal.
Blood of liberty.
Blood of liberty.
The tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots. Well, guess what?
Liberty.
Like one more time from the beginning. Like we need to clip that out and replay that.
And I love people who say the blood of liberty, or the tree of liberty is water with the blood of patriots. Well, guess what, man? I didn't see a whole lot of patriots that are out there walking around making sure that we have these weapons. And if you really want to worry about the government, you need an F-16.
Wow. Yeah, he really butchered that whole thing.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me to can't get fooled again. Can I get blood of liberty one more time and then we'll move on?
Okay.
The blood of liberty. Or
Okay, there you go, Brian. All right. Excuse me.
Oh
blood of liberty.
He says it so loud, it's like he's impersonating somebody else's voice.
It is like a Leslie Nielsen skit. It's crazy.
That's exactly what it's blood of liberty. One more time.
Okie doke.
Blood of liberty. Or excuse me, the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots.
Okay. That's enough. I gotta move on. Holy shit, that is so funny.
Okay.
It's so funny. The blood of liberty. Holy shit. Okay.
All right.
What's up, James Bates? Welcome, buddy. Oh my God. The blood of liberty. Okay, back to George Soros and his son real quick. The son of Soros. Oh my God, that's so good. The blood of liberty. What an asshole. Okay, but we talked about the son of Soros, but we didn't really even mention the text of what the tweet said. It said something about crime, and it said something about something. Can you pull that one back?
Something about something, and now I've already taken the
closed it down.
articles
The
down.
blood of liberty. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
It's just
Well, here we
like on
go.
an airplane. The blood of liberty. Okay. All right. But what was the tweet that son of Soros said? It said last year the crime and inflation something.
Yes, last year the crime and inflation crises largely evaporated. What, in his neighborhood? I don't know what he's talking about. So did the leading theories about what had caused them. And then that goes to this article from The Atlantic, which is just total neocon crazy. Not really taken too serious. This is like an establishment paper for the deep state here. Just going into the America 2023 with the big problems and leading theories. Murder rate had not reached levels of the 90s since the mid 90s. I don't want to go into too much of this stuff, but really just to focus on obviously what they're trying to imply here with the assassination. As you can see, bullet hole and $47. Here we go. So it looks like he is alluding to the assassination of Donald Trump, and then they can rule over us, and they can take everybody's guns away. They can shut down the internet, and yes, we will be living in a state of neo-feudalism with no chance of ever getting a populist elected again. That's the way they would like to see it happen. The new normalization for them.
Yeah, that seems to be what they're looking for. They're trying to bring America to the point of the blood of liberty. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Right
there, Ryan. Did you take a little breather?
I'm good. I needed that laugh. It's just the feedback. I've been in bands. I've run sound. I've worked in music for a long time. That little detail and that little piece of reverb and the audio squeal in that makes it so perfect. And the fact that he's so confidently yelling loudly in a fake voice, the blood of liberty. God, it's Leslie Nielsen. Okay. I needed that laugh today.
He's got another highlight coming up at some point.
What's a highlight coming up? Oh, Biden has another one?
Yeah.
It's nothing but
talking about the border, but we'll get to that.
But
whenever.
I could have
some point during the show.
I think the second topic will run into this first topic. So I'll start with this one, Blake. This was the number one story on Sunday, or was it Saturday? No, it was Sunday. I think it was halfway through the Baker Mayfield game that this news broke. But it's like everybody was watching the AFC and NFC champion, or the games going on Sunday to get to the championship games. But yeah, this is maybe the number one story. Blake, what do you say about this? Do you think DeSantis made the right move to drop out and endorse Trump? Would you agree or disagree that this was the right move?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. It's time. See the writing on the wall. wasn't doing too well, probably had no chance to overcome Trump, and they were spending a fortune. There's a ridiculous amount of money that they have to put up for their candidates to go. And it was already the first state in Iowa, and they campaigned really hard, went to every county, did everything they could, put it all on the line, and it still wasn't well short. So it was time to drop out. And a lot of people, like us, a lot of other, Trump supporters were just like, hey, this isn't so good. You shouldn't have done this. Now it's good that you're bowing out now. This is going to set you up for 2028 because we want to like you, but you've become a villain, and go back to being a great governor. Go back to Florida. That's where he was really doing well. Was pushing back against the mainstream media, calling out DC, but then just staying put as the governor. So. But as president, it was before its time. But it was a good run for him, good practice run. But he got, with the wrong people, the people that had a lot of money that wanted to see him elected for, many reasons that you pointed out last week. That Scott Adams liking Vivek is because he's kind of a safer pick in a way. But it just wasn't meant to be. And Trump is extremely popular, and many people think that he was cheated out of his second term, and he deserves to go back. Let him finish the job, and then somebody like DeSantis or Vivek can succeed after that.
Now, yeah, and I put a short out there. Make sure you're following youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. I did a 60-second talking about that, and I get where, maybe it was a good test run to get his message out, to connect with donors and raise his national, I don't know, profile, his national profile, I suppose. But it really wasn't the right time. One of the things that I added to that short was just that what I really want to know now is who was advising him. Who told him that this was going to be a good idea to do this now? And it wasn't so much that he ran. You got a right to run. I get it. You had some.
A lot of people. Look at the amount of money it costs to make him there. Obviously, some very powerful people with deep pockets push that. He did not do that on his own. It wasn't a grassroots campaign.
So who was putting it in his ear? Who was advising him to do that? Number one. Number two. It was the strategy. If he would have just came out and said, look, I've agreed with a lot of things President Trump supported. He did a great job on many fronts. He was blocked by obstructionists every step of the way, fake impeachments, all sorts of setups along the way. And they're doing it to him now with fraudulent district attorneys. You have corrupt Justice Department officials and a corrupt Biden White House trying to kneecap him as the number one candidate. I am running so that in case they're able to succeed on any of these fronts, I can instantly give him a full pardon and bring him back into the mix. Like, if he would have just said that to MAGA, you would have been fine. You'd have been like, oh, well, he's running just in case something happens. Well, I mean, everybody needs a backup plan, right? Well, that's why you sell insurance policies, right? But no, he comes out, he's like, no, I know. I don't know what it's like to have to pay off a prostitute for hush money. It's like, oh my God. He just got indicted by Alvin Bragg in New York, and he came out bashing him. It was a horrible look. Now, another component, Blake, is that there's a theory out there, and I want to get your thoughts on this, and then play a clip from Luke Radowski. But there's a theory out there that Mike Pence and Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis, among others, have all been playing a role. That this is, once again, you hate to say it, it's all part of a plan. The same bullshit we've heard for 5-6 years now. Trust the plan. It's all part of the plan. Shut up. Give me some results. But you go, well, what did Ron DeSantis running actually accomplish? And you go, well, nothing. All he did was alienate MAGA. What a terrible, what a stupid, short-sighted thing to do. He was a shoo-in for 2028. But then you hear that there's Trump has been talking about having a mall of heroes He wants to celebrate America's birthday coming up in 2026, I think, 1776. He wants to celebrate America's birthday, this big thing, and like this garden of heroes. And you go, well, okay, so what if DeSantis is playing a role? What if Mike Pence is playing a role? And in this case, the DeSantis role was to soak up all of that rhino money and then launch a flop campaign to make sure nobody could actually do anything with it. And you just depleted all these rich bastard rhino assholes of that ill-gotten money that was going to try to sink this country by turning it over to the hands of people compromised by globalists. What say you about DeSantis in the likelihood that he might have been playing a part, and he is one of the unsung heroes that we will find out coming up in the very near future? What's a likelihood you would place on something like that? Because otherwise, the DeSantis running makes no sense. The way he did it, the way he announced, the way that he backed out, he said what I asked this question with in the beginning. He said Trump did a lot of good things. The obstructionist stopped a lot of good things he was trying to do. Now, I disagree with him about promoting Fauci and a couple of other things, but I put my full support behind him. If he would have done that in the beginning and front-loaded it, MAGA would have had no problem with the guy. But he did it all backwards that made no sense unless he had to play the role and soak up all their money. What say you?
It's possibility. I don't know, maybe 30%. The thing is again, he did not run as a grassroots campaign. That he didn't take it all upon himself. Obviously, there was some huge money interest behind him, and that could have been Fox News. That could have been any number of these big neocons that pulled him aside and said, "Look, we like you, and we think you're a better alternative to Trump. So yeah, we think you should run, and we're going to back you." What is he going to say? F you? No, I mean. Again, it would be totally different if he decided to do it on his own and was trying to appeal to the MAGA base and get grassroots money, but he wasn't. So, but it could have been a plot. Maybe it was. That'd be cool. That'd be an awesome story. And I hate to see that, the divide. I hate to see him be, the bad guy. But then again, I think MJ Sedona saying he becomes the attorney general. He would be a great pick for that. And so I don't want to see that divide. Yes, he should get an opportunity somewhere. James Bates was asking if he would run for Senate. I don't think that he would. I think he's going to be great he's a great governor. I think that's a better job than, say, being a senator or just to support Trump. I mean, it's a possibility after his term's up as governor. If he doesn't become president, maybe he would go on to become a senator. But I guess that would be my take on that one. But a very good question there. Okay, well, Brian, yes, let's see what does Luke have to say here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what Luke said. I want to read the other James Bates quote. He said DeSantis did the only thing that he could do, So now Haley needs to step aside. He's ready for Trump v. Biden 2.0. Let's effing go. So there's that. Jocelyn saying that Blake is rocking the cool shirts lately. Yes, Blake, we need to find a way to link that up to like a page where you can get a percentage and sell some merch, bro. Deb from Sac is saying, hey guys, can't stay long, but checking in person. Turquoise waving face green smiling. What up, Deb from Sac? I want to ask you this, Blake. This is a theory and a conversation that keeps popping up. And I'll admit to being a little unclear as to how this works. Can Ron DeSantis, could he serve? Yeah, he MAGA'd a mistake. Yes. It seems like Ronnie D did, unless he was part of a plan to soak up all that money and flush it down the toilet. Can Ron DeSantis serve as vice president in a Donald Trump campaign because he's from the same state that Donald Trump is? I've heard differing legal theories on this, much like, can a natural-born citizen serve? Yeah. Do both of your parents have to be naturalized citizens at the time of your birth, or does that disqualify you? There's legal theories on this. What is your understanding of, could he join the top of the ticket?
First of all, I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it's a terrible fit. And there are two major alphas that are like to be leader. I don't think Ron DeSantis is going to take that role. Why would he? To me, that would be bad. If he's the governor of a major state and he's got all that power, and instead you're going to go be, work directly under Donald Trump, I just don't think that's a good fit at all. But as attorney general, he could be a rock star. So that would be totally different.
Well, you know,
he can be his own man. He's got his own building. He's got his own department. He's the top there. That's his role. I think it's just silly to think of the VP thing. Absolutely not. You need a complementary piece. And yes, you can't be from the same state from what I know. So wouldn't even matter. It's not what we're talking about. It's not. I think you just forget it. I think it's a lost cause. And I don't think it doesn't that much good. Like, does that put him in a better position? I don't think it does.
Well, Blake, I think Tallahassee has turned into the capital of America now. The only thing that comes out of Washington, D.C. is bad stuff these days. You know, so maybe Tallahassee is the capital of the United States these days. And sure, we'll get to the Civil War story coming up. I mean, there's quickly approaching a time where Americans, you know, have completely lost faith in the feds. And anyway, we'll get to that story in a second. But I mean, is Ron DeSantis an alpha? The way that he led this campaign and led it into the ground and just kind of floundered, I don't know that he's the alpha that people thought he was. You know,
he is a alpha male who likes to be the leader. He is not going to work underneath another alpha. Not going to happen. It's not a complementary piece. He's a dead issue. Absolutely not. He's an awesome attorney general. He's an awesome governor. He is not going to be Donald Trump's bitch. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
And once again, I disagree with Blake. I don't think being the number 2 person in the nation behind a 70-something-year-old man is a bitch. I think that's a strategically placed insurance policy with a youthful person there to take charge.
Put Vivek in there. Put Perry Lake in there. Put, put Rand Paul in there. There's so many people that would make excellent VP candidates. Why DeSantis? Does that make him better? Does that make him a more powerful position? Why you think he would be better served as a VP than as the Attorney General?
Well, here, let's take
the king of Florida, the king of Tallahassee. Why would he want to be the VP? Why does that make him more powerful? I don't. He'd be better as a Speaker of the House. I mean, to me, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, Speaker of the House is number 3 in command. Vice President is number 2.
Sure.
So I mean, just do the math.
Sure.
That's more powerful. That's the first person in line. Should something happen to Trump legally? Should something happen to Trump accidentally?
You're the stand-in. You're not the star. You're the stand-in.
You're the heir apparent. You're the heir apparent. You're like, I don't know. Anyway, regardless, I get that you don't like that choice, but Luke Rudkowski has a few options here. He put this out, and you know, Blake, this is something I've been echoing for the longest time on the Agree to Disagree show here on the New American Media. Make sure you're following us on all platforms. But I think it's time to release all of the dream team. Who do you like in which positions, and get them out there. If you put 20 people, this is who I want here. Here's who I want there. Let them campaign in the swing states nonstop every week moving forward. You got less than a year to go. All systems forward, full speed ahead. What are you holding on to these picks for? You gain nothing strategically by holding your cards close to the vest. And that's kind of what Luke Rudkowski was echoing here. I want to play what he had. Let me full screen this. What is picture in picture? That's not what I want. I want full screen. Sorry. Jamie, can you full screen that? All right, let's give this a shot.
Personally, I even released my own list of people that I would like to see in the future Trump administration, and that would be starting off with Tucker Carlson, vice presidency, press secretary, Ron Paul, Fed chairman, Rand Paul, IR.
By the way, that was so weird. They made a noise over Alex
would
Jones.
Be starting off with Tucker Carlson, vice.
Like he's so toxic you can't even say his name.
Presidency, press secretary, Ron Paul, Fed chairman.
By the way, Ron Paul, Fed chairman. What do you think of these first 3 picks? I'll stop after he names them. Tucker is vice president. What say you?
Well, Tucker would be a better compliment than, say, a Ron DeSantis, but I don't think that's even makes any sense either. No, I mean, Tucker Carlson's very effective at what he does as a journalist. Why would you take him out of that position and make him the VP? And you're going to make him VP, then he's going to go on to be president? No. So I like Luke a lot, but I disagree with the Tucker Carlson pick. I don't know why he's so highly thought of as a VP candidate. It's just not his strength.
No, and he's so
good as a journalist. Why would you take him out of that position?
Yeah, I get your point, and I do agree with you, Blake. I like the strategic thinking of saying these are already key players on the chessboard. Why take them off of the chessboard? They're in the realm that they're in, and they're at they're at the top of their game. Tucker Carlson is, probably one of the top pundits in the history of the country, definitely currently. Why remove him from that role when he's succeeding?
Yeah,
so
take a wide receiver and make him play cornerback or something. It's like, maybe if they can't catch and maybe you could retrain him, but no, he's already good. Why would you move a star player into a different position? That just makes no. Or the Yankees, they get Alex Rodriguez and they move him from shortstop to third base. You can do stuff like that maybe, but side issue. The point is he's strong there. I love the Ron Paul thing as the Federal Reserve Chairman. That's hilarious. Keep that, of course.
Oh, absolutely. I love him there. What do you think about? So your pick for VP is who? Carrie Lake, because she's not currently on the board, and that's an addition by addition. She's not being selected from anywhere.
She would be fantastic. I love that spot. I do like Vivek as a potential VP, as somebody who could learn under Trump and learn how Washington works. He would be an excellent choice there. I think Rand Paul would be also a very good choice as VP. I'm sure there are others, but those three are obviously, to me, some of the biggest standouts. So those would be my choices. Alex Jones as press secretary, no. But it'd be interesting. I mean, again, Alex Jones is, powerful where he's at. Why would you want to make him a press secretary? And also, it's one of the jobs of the press secretary is to constantly, defend the president. I don't think that would be something that he would like. I don't think that would fit him. I don't think he would want to take that. That would be a huge demotion for him as well. Although, it's hilarious maybe to think about. I don't know if Alex Jones fits anywhere as far as the presidential cabinet goes. I could be wrong, or maybe he's got an idea if that was available. I just don't know what he would want to take. So
do you have somebody else in mind? I always thought Milo would be such an interesting, anybody with
Milo is
with the capability to do the job of press secretary probably has some baggage and probably has foot in their mouth moments, what have you. But do you have anybody in mind for press secretary that would be, I don't know, that sounds good to you instead of Alex? Like you said, don't take Alex off the board. Find somebody else that's not really doing anything right now and put them in. Do you have anyone else in mind for press secretary?
Why not just bring in that, what was her name, McEnany or whatever?
Oh, just put Kylie back, Kaylee McEnany.
You could, she's perfectly capable of that. I think they could find people to do that. I don't know if you need like a superstar to run that position. You just need somebody who's going to be aggressive with the press. And I think she did a fantastic job. I know Trump, they had a falling out and he called her milquetoast. I thought she was good, but I mean, there's other people I think that can fit that. MJ Sano saying Vivek. I think people have put that out, or maybe even Carrie Lake because she's battled the mainstream press.
Oh,
that's another one.
She would be so good because she comes from the press. Like she is the press. Look at me now. I am the press. Okay, let's continue with some of these picks and get your takes.
Secretary, Ron Paul, Fed chairman.
We said Ron Paul as Fed chairman would be fantastic. First day here as chairman of the Fed. I'm going to disband the Fed, and that if you have any questions, go ahead and send them to someone who cares. Goodbye. I feel like that's all Ron Paul would do as the Fed chairman. Do you disagree with me on that? Do you think he'd play the game and do the rigmarole dance, or he'd just disband it and call it a day and go sit home, smoke cigars or something?
It could be. Let him do whatever he wants. As far as I'm concerned, no, the Federal Reserve's got to go. IRS has got to go. So I don't, Rand Paul, that would be something they could probably shut down. They got to probably get rid of about 75% of the federal government.
On a 1 to 10 scale, where would you, 10 being fantastic, where would you grade my Ron Paul impression?
I'm going to just say a 6 because I wasn't paying that much attention. So maybe it was great, but if it didn't, like, oh my God, I have to stop because I got to listen to Brian do his impersonation. It's so good. I thought Ron Paul was talking just there for a second.
I haven't listened to Ron Paul in years. So like I had to like delve deep and try to remember what he sounded like. I don't know. know if I did him justice there or not. James Bates, you put it up on the screen a moment ago. He's agreeing with Blake. He says, I'm with Blake on this. I used to think that a Trump DeSantis ticket was the only way to go, but now I think DeSantis will have his time in the future in 2028. By the way, Blake, you see how we're incorporating the commentary from the audience, and we're adding layers of complexity to the story and staying focused in a very professional manner. I don't think these detours are really detours. I think they're layers of flavor profiles with the main dish. But
it's great.
For the record, I'm trying to move fast and I'm trying to stay focused. But I think you're being a little harsh in the critiques of, because Blake and I, look, we're trying to give you the best show possible, and there's different ways to do that. So we have a lot of conversations off air trying to figure out the best way to. But yeah, I mean, adding these comments, to me, it's one of my favorite parts of this program is reading what you have to say, and when it specifically relates to the topics we're discussing, I love working them into the mix. James says, yeah, bring Kayleigh McEnany back. She was definitely more effective. Dreamer gives me a 4 on my Ron Paul impersonation. Yeah, I might have given myself a 3. Maybe a 5 because I'm surprised I even tried it. I probably had no business even attempting it. So I'll give myself 2 extra bonus points from my 3. Okay, moving on. What do you think about this next post?
Rand Paul, IRS commissioner.
Rand Paul, IRS commissioner. What were you starting to say, Blake?
I don't think of like Ron Paul or Rand Paul as like a big IRS guy, but I think I would just shut it down.
Yeah.
Why not just turn it into something else? Use that building for something. Yeah. They have to restructure everything. So get rid of the Fed. Do you? So they would basically, their job would be to whittle it away.
Yes.
Without shocking the system, but basically to cancel those 2 institutions.
To kneecap it like the Detroit Lions did to 2 of the tight ends that they faced in the playoffs. To kneecap it. I mean, I guess if that's all Rand Paul is going to do, he could serve in a dual role. I guess, technically speaking, I don't know if you can serve in Congress and as the IRS commissioner simultaneously. I don't know if that's any conflict of interest or not, but let's just assume he could keep his role in Congress and additionally serve as IRS commissioner. If that's the case, and you don't have to take him off the board in order to serve in that role, I think this one would be great.
Sure.
Okay, next one.
Yeah, that's the only way I could see it. Otherwise, yeah, exactly. He's much better as a senator.
Agreed. And I think Rand Paul would make an excellent vice presidential pick. To be honest, I think adding libertarian credentials to the Trump Democrat, New York, big government, bump stock ban, red flag law, Fauci loving, vaccine pushing. Like, Trump has a lot of knocks on him right now, a lot of fair critiques. I think adding one of the most libertarian people, him or Thomas Massie, adding more libertarian leanings to the mix, I feel like that could do nothing but good. But once again, you take him off the chessboard in order to put him as VP. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I like Rand Paul in some capacity for sure. Next pick here.
Douglas McGregor, DOD.
Douglas McGregor, DOD.
I don't know enough about it to make an opinion on that one.
I concur.
Honestly.
Next.
Ron DeSantis, Attorney General.
There you go. Ron DeSantis, Attorney General. I believe that's what Jocelyn was saying. She believes a deal has been cut for Ron to drop out and serve as Attorney General. What say you?
I think that's a great pick. I would 100% back that up. A lot of people have put that out there. I think we all can agree on that. That would be an upgrade, and that would be very effective. So yeah, Ronnie D for AG.
Yeah, there you go. Ronnie D for AG. I could see the shirts right now.
A DHS, Michael Flynn.
All right, Department of Homeland Security Director, General Michael Flynn.
Maybe. I'm not 100% sold on him either way. I think he seems mostly like a good guy, but I'm not 100% on board with that one yet. So
yeah, any of these
not totally against it, not totally for it.
Any of these upper echelon deep state assets, you got to be super wary of. But the fact that he's been attacked so unscrupulously, unmercifully, ridiculously, it just makes you seem like anybody getting attacked by the bad guys has to be one of the good guys. I know that's faulty reasoning. That's not pure logic. But, 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, if the bad people are against the person, you got to assume that they're over target and doing too many of the good things, and the bad guys don't want them around. So I generally seem to have a pretty positive opinion of Michael Flynn, and DHS would be a decent role for him. Moving on.
Right.
A
I
DOJ
mean, if Trump nominated him, I wouldn't be like, oh, come on, Trump, don't put Flynn in DHS. Like, I wouldn't, no, I think I'd be okay with it.
Gotcha. All right, moving on. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, press the 100 button or the heart button or the thumbs up button or the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the New American Media and the Agree to Disagree show. By the way, Blake is at TV's Blake Walley on X, and he's at thenextlevelnews.com. Dreamer says Flynn is not too bright. Oh, okay, that's fair enough. James says the DHS secretary needs to be someone who is diehard on enforcing immigration policy, not like this idiot Mayorkas. Thank you. Yes, Mayorkas needs to be immediately arrested for treason. I don't know who has to make that call. I don't know if there's anybody. Is everyone asleep at the switch in the military? It is obvious that this is a border invasion. We'll get to that story in a second, but this guy has earned his arrest and treason charges. Okay, moving forward past Michael Flynn.
DOJ Vivek Ramaswamy.
Department of Justice head Vivek Ramaswamy. What say you?
I don't know if that fits him that well. So for what department now again?
This one's DOJ, Department of Justice, or Injustice.
I don't know if that even really fits his qualifications. I would think,
and he is a salesman. He's a big pharma salesman. He's a smooth fucking guy. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, nobody else in the Republican Party has been calling out corruption and the misdeeds of the deep state like Vivek Ramaswamy. And if he had the full weight and power of the federal government behind him to launch the investigations into the people that have violated our constitutional rights and our civil rights over the past couple of decades, I mean, Vivek is right on target calling these people out, the deep state, for all of their abuses. I mean, who else is?
I don't know. Again, it's missing. I think Vivek is a super. I hope he gets the best position possible. I don't think the Department of Justice is him. He's got no justice background. I don't know if he's got a legal background. He's a CEO. He's an entrepreneur. He's big pharma. He's great at many different things, but that doesn't seem to fit his skill set at all. So I'm sorry there, Luke. I would disagree there. I think there would be much better choices. There are some really good legal minds.
You know what some people say, Scott Adams being an early adopter and proponent, supporter of Vivek Ramaswamy, he was supporting him for president because he says, Trump, he's very expensive. He hates having to wake up every day and go, oh God, what did Trump say yesterday? And something's being taken out of context, out of proportion. And it's like, no. What he was saying was this. What he meant was this. No, I know it came out like that. He's so tired of defending Trump. Like he's very effective, but he's very expensive. He said, Vivek, he says what he means, and what he means is articulated perfectly, damn near all the time with Vivek. He doesn't put his foot in his mouth, and it doesn't come back to bite him, and it doesn't get turned into a campaign slogan in the midterms to be used against him. It's like he's just sharp in how he speaks. So like his skill set might be for the press secretary, but would he really want to go to a lowly air quote position of press secretary? But he is one of the most effective communicators on the GOP side. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, my God, if he was actually articulating what GOP MAGA policy is, you're not going to misconstrue it with him in charge of it. But yeah, I don't know if that's a position he would take. Let's see. James says the DHS secretary needs to be someone who is Oh, I already read that one. Dreamer says Flynn is not too bright and that he couldn't tell an FBI gotcha when it was right in his face. James says Ronnie D for AG will indict Mayorkas. My God, I hope we don't have to wait that long for that to happen. I don't know what nation we're going to have left with how many people, tens of thousands, storming the border every day in an invasion. Let's continue here.
CDC Candace Owens.
CDC Director Candace Owens, Centers for Disease Control. She's very famously out there talking about medical freedom.
No, I mean, I really like Candace Owens. I think she's phenomenal at what she does. And she's also, I think of her more as a reporter, journalist. I don't see why she would run the CDC.
Well, you haven't seen all of the videos in the book. Did she do a whole book on it? But she was talking about the schedules that the doctors want to inject into the kids, and she's a new parent, and she's gone so in depth with that particular topic. I mean, I guess that's slightly different from CDC, but I mean, WHO, CDC, all of these.
Yeah, it's another bureaucracy that needs to be cut down like 75%. So she'd be basically getting rid of her own job. I think there's people that are more medical professionals that would be better suited for something like that. Try to think of some. I'm escaping my mind, but I know there's so many like prominent people, medical professionals that speak out against these.
How about Dr. Drew? How about RFK Jr.?
Yeah, there you go. Those are two better choices than Candace. Why take her out of her comfort zone and make her run?
Ooh, James. Yeah, James.
Yeah.
James nails this one. How about this? I think we might have found it with James. Candace should be the press secretary.
Oh, she could do that too. Yeah,
she would be so good because she has that kind of like that resting bitch face thing going on. I mean, she's a pit bull. I feel like she's a little too confrontational sometimes, but those hack journalists deserve her at her meanest and most mama bear. She's a good mama bear, it seems. When she laser focuses, she really bears.
Well, she would be effective at it, and they could offer it to her. I don't know if she would take it, but hey, if she wanted to do it, then let her do it.
Yeah, I feel like
it
she's easily offered to her.
Qualified,
very
qualified. More so than the CDC, right? The CDC, she's just a concerned mom.
But you get already just this simple thought experiment, Blake, and listeners out there. Thank you for joining us on the Agree to Disagree show with the New American Media. This simple thought experiment is showing like, God, just put these pieces in place already. Let them go out and preach the gospel of what MAGA really is. What are we waiting for? Don't wait till June, July, August for the conventions. Just go now. Pick your people and have nonstop press junkets with all of these people saying, this is what our policy is going to be. Here's where Biden has been traitorous, treasonous, and derelict in his duties. Here's where he's been absolutely wrong. He's been reckless, and here's why we're going to correct. Like, just get these 20 or 30 people out there focused on putting the real issues out instead of playing the latest got you by your tail, got your nose game that the media likes to do with, oh, Trump's this, Trump's that. It's like, no. The movement is bigger than Trump. I want Trump's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in line behind him because it's not about Trump. It's what I keep saying about Joe Biden. It's not about Biden with Obama pulling the puppet strings. It's about that Democrat Party and what they represent. They'll put any puppet up there. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden. We'll get to this next topic once this Luke segment's over, but it doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden, if it's Barack Hussein Obama's significant other, if it's pick your Democrat that they're going to try to weasel in there, because I really don't think Biden's going to last. It doesn't matter. It's about destroying that corrupt Democrat Party, the treasonous, traitorous party that has tried to destroy this country. And they're actively doing it day by day. It's bigger than one person. So if Trump could just name these people and say, we are Team MAGA, then it's not about Trump anymore. Every person he selects and puts out there for the next 9 months, 10 months, it will be about the message and not about the messenger. They have bludgeoned the MAGA movement because of Trump. Orange man bad, orange man bad. It's not about Trump. And just like Trump says, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. But I just happen to be in the way. And that's the best messaging he's ever had, is to keep drilling down on that one component. Far from a perfect human and far from perfect policy or an execution. But the movement is the only thing that's going to save this country. And he had a lot of wins, but man, he had a lot of losses and a lot of questionable picks for positions around him last time. Let's put them in position now and vet them now so that you can quickly weed out if there's any weaknesses in any of these people, anything that's going to make their facade crack. We got to stress test them right now and hit the ground running to put this country back on track. Let's continue with the Luke piece here.
An FDA Joe Rogan.
There you go. Food and Drug Administration Director Joe Rogan.
No, I like what he does, but I mean, there's people like, Dr. David Martin, there's Judy Mikovits, there's, Dr. Naomi Wolf, or as you said, Dr. Drew. There are other like prominent Dr. Robert Malone, maybe put him in front of the seat. I mean, there's some good
CDC
like medical.
Malone would be good. Yeah. Malone for CDC would be interesting.
Yeah, there's some people that would be just better fits. I mean, these are kind of like celebrity picks.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what.
um,
I mean, what Joe Rogan? Who takes health and fitness more seriously than Joe Rogan with all of his
But why
MMA
not just
training?
put Dr. Drew there? That's he knows about health and fitness. He knows just as much. Why would again? It's if they wanted to offer it to Rogan, but I mean, Rogan makes so much money in his comfort zone doing UFC or his podcast or what else does he do? I don't know, acting, comedian stuff. So for him to give that up to go run at the FDA, like to be a bureaucratic position, that doesn't.
But to be fair,
yeah, it's fun. It's not like to be taken that seriously. But no, I mean, obviously that's just not reality, and not a great pick in all of reality.
But
I'm trying to find some of the legal minds.
I agree. I agree with your analysis there. I would just once again point out that if the role and if the goal rather of the new MAGA movement is to drastically reduce the scope and power of these out of control bureaucracies, maybe you can serve with a once a month Skype meeting. Maybe you could just dial it in. You meet once or twice a year and you work around your schedule, and it really doesn't take up any of your damn time because you're not trying to micromanage everybody like the New World Order wants, like the globalist regime, the Davos World Economic Forum, these creeps. They want to micromanage every aspect of your life. Where Rogan, head of the FDA, it's like, look, here's what's proven to get you in better shape. Here are the programs for fitness. Here are the programs for supplements. Here are the programs for this. Go. And you know what? I'm going to check back once every 3 months, and we're going to get back here and see how we're doing. And he just goes about his daily life, and he doesn't take questions every day. He doesn't sit behind a desk pushing paper. He's not constantly in front of boards of directors. He's just meeting a couple of times a year. So he
would be, I don't know,
if
he would be just as effective as a podcast.
These positions,
right.
I could see some of these people working. If it's going to be run the same as before, of course, Blake, I agree with you. It's too much time, too much bureaucracy. But I think the point is to shatter a lot of these organizations into 1,000 pieces and cast them to the wind.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think there's plenty of people that would be very qualified to run the FDA, and Joe Rogan can bring them on a podcast and give them plenty of publicity.
Right.
I think that would be good. But I don't think of like Joe Rogan as the ultimate expert. I don't think he would even agree to that. But he will have the experts on his show and pick their brain. I think that's great.
Well, maybe the new role of him as FDA director would be every Monday. We're going to have he'll have FDA Friday. So on FDA Friday, he's going to have people in talking about health and wellness, and he's going to bring in the experts. It's just Friday's FDA Friday, and we're going to talk about the real conversations we need to have. We're not just going to be shills for big pharma anymore. Let's see. James says that he could see Candace as press secretary because he's seen her in person and up close. She would be amazing in that role, a hell of a lot better than KJP. James says, Brian, you're right. Trump's next cabinet needs to be lockstep with MAGA movement. No establishment, folks. Let's change the game. James agrees with you, Blake. Rogan already makes too much. He wouldn't do that. And James says, what about Dr. Oz for FDA or CDC?
I don't. Maybe that would even make more sense too. I don't know. Or I was also trying to find out Tom Fitton for some kind of a legal mind, Department of Justice, one of those type of agencies, or we just ran G. Sekulow, some of those, because there's other people that are qualified. But if we're just goofing off and we're just putting celebrities in some of these positions, and fine. But there's zero seriousness to having Joe Rogan run the FDA.
You said Tom Fitton. I mean, that guy is so ripped, you might as well call him Tom Fitness.
There you go.
I mean, he's just pythons and a polo shirt 2 sizes too small, man. He could be at health and wellness, FDA, something with health to get the nation to get in shape a little bit. But anyway, I digress. Let's continue with Luke's list here.
NASA, Elon Musk.
NASA, Elon Musk.
Would he want to do that? I don't know. That's another thing. Elon Musk is his own man. He's a super entrepreneur and he loves running all those businesses. Why would he want to just, obviously he runs SpaceX, but why would he want to do NASA too? So no, that's another one where I want to disagree.
All right.
I mean, for me, these are celebrity picks. They're not serious. Some of them are serious and could be, put in those positions, but most of them are just kind of like on the top of my head. I'm goofing off. Oh, well, Elon does space. Yes, he would technically could, but would he? Would that be a better move? Would he make more money running NASA? I doubt it.
Well, to be fair,
running Tesla and Twitter and the Boring Company and space and all the other different things that he's got going on.
Well, to be fair though, I mean it's like if Luke was like, all right, for CDC director Alexander Richardson from Tupelo, Mississippi, you'd be like, well, who's that? So I mean, it's got to be somebody that somebody that's been in the public limelight, in the public profile, or else the list would make no sense. Jimmy Stevens from San Antonio. Who's Jimmy?
Yeah, we need name value. Yeah, because some of these cabinet members, and as you said, yes, the first go around, there was some lousy, picks, and so now it's up to us because Trump was surrounded by
the swamp
people that didn't like him.
Yeah,
and so we need people that are good.
Well, James mentions that in the comments. He says, "Can you imagine if Trump appointed Rudy Giuliani as AG? LOL. Democrats' heads would explode." I mean, he was a former U.S. attorney. What about that one?
Yeah. Look, he's got some issues, though, too. I don't know entirely about that. He's a rock star. He's done a lot of work. He took down the New York mob. He's cleaned up Times Square. Like he's heroic for many different reasons. But he's getting up there in age, and they're kind of finding him embroiled in a few scandals. And I think that he's it's not his time. It's with some fresh blood in there.
Okay.
But yes, Giuliani's great in his own way.
Gotcha.
And I hope he gets compensated for all of he's going through some like legal hell right now, and he's probably going to file bankruptcy, and he's who knows, he's got his own issues. I'm not trying to bash the guy. He's done some great work, so we praise Giuliani, but we could find somebody, I think, younger for that position, at least.
All right, let's
maybe an advisor. He could stick around some kind of capacity.
Okay.
But yes, the Democrats would be freaking out, and that would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Give it to Giuliani for like 6 months.
Some of these just for the sheer shock value. It's almost necessary to do as much to make the heads explode. All right, let's continue on the list.
And a CIA run by Robert Kennedy Jr.
All right, CIA run by Robert Kennedy Jr. That one's pretty nice.
I'm not against that.
I mean, they killed his uncle.
Yeah, exactly. Now he would be able to find out exactly what they've been hiding all these years. So I think that's a good pick.
That one might make the most sense. Let me finish.
Junior. That's the dream team right now. That's the team that America deserves more than ever. And I said, if you support this.
Anyway, so if you support it, share it. Okay. So yeah, but did you feel, Blake, during that thought experiment? Did you feel during that thought experiment like I did, the excitement? And also take it off of Trump. Take it off of everything being about Donald freaking Trump. It's about the movement. Jocelyn says Ben Carson for CDC. He's already worked with Trump and he's a surgeon. I like Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah, that'd be a good spot for him because he was kind of misplaced, right? What did he work in, like housing and development or something like that? Like he had a role in the administration, but probably not the one that was best fit his skill set. So I think he would be better fit for like CDC or something. So yeah, he's a good man.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other but did you see, did you feel the same excitement I did about the movement there and about putting the team together? And it's like, now we get to practice with the team now it's like, you go through the whole off season. That's the 3.5 years of hell during this Biden nightmare. And now it's like winning a spring training, hope springs eternal. And you got all these new pitchers, catchers reporting for spring training. And then you got the hitters coming in and it's like, oh my God, look at the team we have assembled. We got a chance to make a real run this year. That's exciting. I'm so sick of the Trump show. I like some of the things that Trump has done. I am so exhausted from the Trump show. I'm completely with Scott Adams on that. I just like the MAGA movement. Trump's great with his zingers. Comedian Trump, stand-up Trump is one of the funniest Trumps. He was talking about Adam Schiff and his pencil neck holding up his watermelon head yesterday or whatever. I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, stand-up Trump is the best Trump. But like, he also stands toe-to-toe with all of these global leaders, bullies them out of the way at these goofy pansy meetings, and he dominates and asserts, like, he's who you want in a boardroom. He's great at certain things, but we got to back away from the Trump show. I like the MAGA show. Did you feel the excitement just discussing these names like I did?
Yeah, no Jeff Sessions, no Rex Tillerson, none of these, lame candidates, lame cabinet people that ended up getting rid of after a few months anyway. Yeah, no, we need to put together the dream team. I'm down with that. So I think, it is exciting, and we need to get the base into this.
Yes,
and we need to get the right people in there and surround him with good people, because he was not last time, and he got basically kind of isolated from within.
And you said we need to get the base. Seeing the amount of people that are coming out to support President Trump, I mean, his support may have never been this high. Even when he beat Hillary, when he polled in 2020, the polling was way worse than it is now. But I think you just nailed it. We need to get the rest of the people on board. And I think less Trump is better. Just back away from the mic a little bit, shut up a little bit. Let your surrogates, let your team go out and spread the message. Let them attack Candace. Let them attack Carson. Let them attack RFK. Let them attack, just step back. His biggest mistake, I've said this before, and I still think Trump won in a landslide. By the way, go to CISA.gov. Did you see that CISA.gov thread that I tagged you on? It was like 20.
Oh my God, dude. You just spammed my, yes. Holy cow. You spammed all of Twitter. You can just send me the first link in the thread. You don't have to send me each individual thing. But yes, I got the message loud and clear. I didn't read through it all, but what is important there is that they seem to be well aware that mail-in balloting had very big problems, that they knew about it. But it seems like they didn't care, because as long as their candidate won, why would they? That was a way for them to swing things in their favor, and they certainly did. As you saw, those swing states stop counting in the middle of the night, and they found through the mail-in balloting. Yeah, these pristine papers that were just voting for the president, and that was it. Not folded, no signatures checked. It's bad. You got to have integrity in the elections, or it doesn't matter. So,
and we've already had YouTube flagged. By the way, you got the update that the Jim Mars interview, they removed the strike on that video.
Oh, good. All right. I didn't know.
I still worked on that because we dared mention the V word. But yeah, I mean, there was a whole truth bomb dropped on Twitter about CISA and their involvement. They knew that in-person voting had no increased risk of passing COVID around and all these things, but they kept pushing it anyway. But places like YouTube and Facebook, they want me to say you need to go to CISA.gov/rumor control. The people who were behind all of that, go to the Twitter thread that Blake had out at TV's Blake Walley and at American_media_. But for countervailing views, go to CISA.gov/rumor control, because they think this was the only free and fair election in the history of America. All the rest could be questioned by Democrats, except this one can't be questioned by Republicans because it was perfect. I digress, but we're
absolutely
in a strange world right now. What's up?
Well, this is the one you sent me. America First Legal, it's litigation bombshell. They're suing cybersecurity infrastructure. CISA, who we've just promoted there, so people can get their countervailing views. I don't care. We're not worried. Go look at their information as well as ours, and you can choose for yourself. So that's the censorship arm of the Department of Homeland Security. Their lawsuit unearthed new documents showing the deep state knew the risks of mail-in voting, but censored these criticism as disinformation. And they go on and they have a huge thread of why this is bad news. This is a tyrant's dream to be able to have this kind of flexibility for the elections. And yes, and we had a number of problems from that, and people still to this day are questioning the results. And this is a big reason why, because we have no proper oversight on stuff like this. This was unprecedented. It came down during a pandemic, and it seemed to work to one side's advantage.
Thank you for sharing that, Blake. Yeah, check out at American_media_ on X and at TV's Blake Walley. Make sure you're connected with us. And yeah, we need to figure out how to get more of the regular listeners into our private group. We have a private Facebook group for the Agree to Disagree show because we're only live twice a week. Send us a message, tag us, and say, hey, we invite me into your private X group for the Agree to Disagree show. Send me a message and I will add you personally to that group. And yes, Dr. Ben Carson was sworn in as the 17th Secretary of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So that is HUD. All of these bureaucracies start to blur together, all the alphabet soup. It's like you just kind of put your spoon in and I don't know, what is this? CIA, FBI, DHS. Anyway, it gets a little convoluted and confusing at some point. So yes, he was the head of housing and urban development. Okay. Any other topic, any other point you wanted to make on this topic before we move on to the next, sir?
No, good fun, and we'll see what happens. But that looks like Trump's going to take the Republican nominee. That's Nikki Haley, but I doubt it.
Well, we'll talk about that coming up here on the next topic.
Okay.
All right, Blake. Well, I mean, we were talking about Trump going to be taking the nomination from the Republicans, but this still leaves Nemarata Nikki Rondahawa Haley, who wants you to use your real name online, but she doesn't use hers. So she's still running. New Hampshire's voting today. I'm assuming maybe later this evening I'll do a short on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Subscribe to us, please. Like our videos and play them so we can get some of those analytics boosted. But I mean, it should be a Trump blowout against Nikki Haley in New Hampshire. And the question is, isn't South Carolina next? They're going to be going to where she's from. And it's like, is she going to drop out before she gets there? Or is she so delusional? And it's like Raytheon is paying her so much, or Boeing, or whichever military industrial complex company that you want to put is saying, no, you're going to ride it out the entire time. We still need to jail Trump. You're not dropping out, and she's going to see this through to the bitter end. What's your guess of how this plays out?
Yeah, she definitely makes South Carolina. And if she can't make a big, splash there, then it's time to hang it up. But I mean, it's up to her deep state handlers. They're the ones that are funding it. So it's not coming out of her pocket. So what does she care? That's the one that they want. She's the puppet of choice on the right hand.
And her deep state handlers really have her acting like a Democrat, being financed by Democrats, being trying to get people to sign up in states where, people don't have any interest in the Republican Party. They just want to vote against Trump because Orange Man bad. If you don't like Trump, vote for me. And she's doing all the party politics that the left wing champions. She's out there whining about, I was a brown kid growing up, and even Dinesh D'Souza was out there kind of rebutting all of that. He's like, I was an older, browner kid than you, and I didn't see it. Like, they're battling in their Indian way, I suppose. But she embodies. She strikes me as a Democrat. I don't know what about her says Republican. I really don't. I don't know what Republicans could possibly see in a Nimarata Nikki Rondahawa.
Super warmonger.
Yeah, go war.
No, she's neocon Nikki for a reason. The only thing is that she's, looser on the abortion issue that I've seen.
I love the video that she's going on.
Dick Cheney. She's Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels,
That's a
right?
Great line. That's such a good line. But I like how Vivek talked about Ronnie D and his heels too. About two of you on stage here in heels. That was funny. But we'll see how New Hampshire shakes out. But I love the video that we shared on X at American_media_, and it was Nikki Haley debating herself. It's back to back, taking both sides of multiple issues. And it's just like, it's the most disingenuous thing I've ever seen. She's such an unlikable person. Never Nikki, neocon Nikki, never Nikki, whatever you want to call it.
Naughty Nikki too.
Huh?
I said naughty Nikki too.
Tell us about that.
She's apparently cheated on her husband with two separate men. This was out of the Daily Mail. It's with married South Carolina lobbyist Larry Marchant, as well as communications consultant Will Folks, according to a report from the Daily Mail. She did cheat on her husband, had affairs with these people. She falsely denied cheating on her husband when she was accused, engaging in two extramarital affairs during her gubernatorial campaign. Multiple sources who worked with her claim, saying this is denials of this is 2008. They say they are false, that the supposed trysts were brazen and widely known among South Carolina politicos.
Gross. Bird brain Nikki pecking at her roster. Yuck.
Yeah, and Will Folks and Larry both signed affidavits in 2010 alleging they had a sexual relationship with the then South Carolina lawmaker before she went on to become governor.
Wow.
So that's a big deal. They are signing their names, admitting their affairs and their misdeeds in a court of law. So I would assume that while the contents of the affidavits were described by major news outlets at the time, it was the first time they'd been published outside of where he posted a blog, according to one of these gentlemen. So she denied both at the time, said she was 100% faithful. So I guess these two guys are liars. I don't know. That we're talking about tales of steamy liaisons in the back of her Cadillac SUV, canoodling in her lover's laps at bars, and spending nights together in Columbia, South Carolina duplex. So says she hoarded herself out politically, so it wouldn't surprise me. Well, according to this author, Chris Menahan, if these claims about her whoring herself out in her personal life are also true. So, anyway, naughty Nikki, neocon Nikki, she's bad news.
Never Nikki.
I think South Carolina is actually, I thought it was the third spot, but I think actually it's the fourth. So it's going to be New Hampshire. I think Nevada's next, and then they're going to go to South Carolina. But since it's so close, she's got to make that. That's her last stand, as far as I can see it. And if she can't make a huge splash, then just give it to Trump. Let him run it. And then maybe we'll see what they do with Nikki if she runs third party or if the Democrats embrace her. I have no idea. But they seem to be. They seem to want to push for the Michelle Obama, because we obviously know Biden is really struggling, and they're not going to admit it yet because they don't want to. They're saying they don't want him as like a lame duck so early. So they're going to pretend like he's going to run, but they really have a backup plan in mind, and it'll probably come maybe not for a few months. I think somebody said maybe May. Or maybe even it could come in August, but somebody will at the convention, somebody will emerge that gets, the Democratic base fired up to take on Trump, because it's not going to be for Biden. And unless they can do the mass mail-in balloting or something like that, I don't think they have much of a chance.
They were floating that tiny spy balloon idea of Gavin Newsom. That didn't go over so well.
Right.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, kind of dipped his toes in for a second. That didn't go anywhere. You've seen multiple people kind of just slightly testing the water, but this Barack Hussein Obama spouse rumor just will not go away. I don't know what the likelihood is. Nikki Hickey, God, man, you're gonna make me throw up, guys. Like, this is so gross. Dreamer says it's all a unitard party. That's fair. But like this Obama story will not go away. Nikki's a swinger, just like Madison Cawthorn and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Gates, and there's all sorts of rumors about steamy Nikki.
Steamy Nikki.
Yeah, no thanks.
Back of her SUV, right?
Yeah, bird brain. There, let me pick your brain a little bit. You could see her kind of. Yeah. She is like a
there
bird.
You go.
I don't know. Yeah. No, there's some political figures you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, like you see Lauren Boebert in the theater, you're like, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I mean, whatever. But then you hear about Nikki Haley and you're like, no, I'm good. I would never want to see that video. I'm good. Wait, Blake, what do you mean you don't know? Do you have a thing for not?
Well, I don't have a thing for her, but I don't think she's like ugly or anything. But I mean, I wouldn't want to be caught in the back of a Cadillac SUV with her. But yeah, I'd rather spend a day with Bobert than Nikki by far. It's not even close. There you go. Yeah, you never know.
I'm never runner.
Yep.
She's like a bird. He calls her bird brain, and it's like she looks like a bird, like just like pointy beak and her big weird neck.
Oh, she's bad news, man. She is. She cannot be in there. She has to be politically destroyed.
Yeah, the physicality of Nikki Haley is the least repulsive thing about her. I don't care. Just when you got me thinking about her banging all these dudes on her campaign, I'm like, what is wrong with these guys? Like, there's not like. It's not like
why would they turn that down?
There,
like you would have turned that down if you were in their position.
What?
Like if that could further your political career.
What?
Right. But I mean, what? This is like what 15 years ago when she's like in her prime and she's a relatively attractive woman that's running for South Carolina governor.
Blake,
you wouldn't sleep with her to further your career.
Blake, are you saying
you are a liar?
Blake,
you are like Brian. I'm Brian, and I'm too principled for that, Nikki. No thanks.
Blake, are you saying that women have a prime? Excuse me.
Okay. Well, I'm not going there.
You went there. And yes, I would turn that down. This is, by the way, this is not the first time, and you're not the first person. I've had multiple conversations about this. Or what? You're telling me you wouldn't sleep with someone to blah, blah, blah. If the new American media would take off, I'm like, I wouldn't bend over and take it from Harvey Weinstein. I wouldn't hold the ankles and give it to Ariana Huffington.
You wouldn't sleep with Harvey Weinstein. Come on, Brian. What if you want to get the big role and he's gonna make you a star?
What if I had to grab Ariana Huffington's ankles and just give it to her, and then all of a sudden she'll invest the angel capital we need? Like I just wouldn't do it. It's not on my radar, Brian. Huh?
Some teammate you are. You wouldn't take one for the team there.
Ariana Huffington by the ankles, like that's a pretty good. Who else could we put in that visual to ruin all of your lunches out there, folks?
Right.
What was that? Brian, LOL. Yeah, I'm doing the bird brain thing. I'm Nikki Haley. Nimarata, call me Nimarata. Nimarata.
Yeah.
I wish we could get that clip. Call me Nimarata. Nimarata.
Come on, Brian. We'll get a few drinks in you. We'll shove you into that Cadillac SUV.
Oh, good God.
No one will say anything. We won't know. You can, whatever.
Anyway.
All I know is that he went into the limo with her. It was steam coming out of it. And that's all I know. And next thing you know, we got a big contract. We're, about to take the next New American Media to the next level. Good job, Brian. I don't care. I don't want to know, but just well done. Well done.
Blake wouldn't kick Nikki Haley out of bed with the saltine crackers, whatever that was.
Crackers.
Dreamer saying personally, he's calling it the Unitard Party. Personally, I don't really care about the affairs. There's plenty of more important stuff. Nookie Nikki. That's good. Nookie Nikki. I like that. Nookie Nikki. I did it all for the Nikki. Come on, the Nikki. So you can take that bird brain and stick it up your bra. Stick it up your bra. Stick it up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But no, Dreamer, I think it's important. Like Blake said, she's on. She commits to something, and then she whores herself out, spreads her legs. She spreads her principles. She's the typical candidate in politics that you cannot trust as far as you can throw her. So, hey, Brian, do super chicken. This has been such a wacky show, but I'm kind of liking it. I did it all for the Nikki. Whew. But no, I think it is slightly important that Nikki's banging all these people on her campaign staff while she's screwing over the people of the United States. Like, did you hear her on Fox and Friends? She said normal people aren't voting for Trump. Did you hear that gem? I just shared that this morning at American_media_. And she said normal people aren't voting for Trump. She's calling, if you're a MAGA voter, you're not normal. Deb says Nikki spreads like peanut butter. Yes. Well, you know what? I'm sorry.
Black if you're not voting for Biden, right?
Yeah, that one too. I have a peanut allergy where it comes to Nikki. Thank you, Deb from SAC. Okay, so anyway, the deep state is planning Haley versus Obama. They just seem to want to throw Trump in a gulag. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll kind of talk to you. I'll probably go live. Like I said, I'll do a quick hitter after the New Hampshire massacre. I assume that Nimrata is going to get destroyed, but we shall see if they're able to play some funny business in that one. Any other thoughts on that one, sir?
Nah, I think we've covered that one pretty good. Yes.
3 more stories, more lightning round style. This really could have been the lead story. I did a short on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Make sure you're subscribed and watching those. But yeah, this could have probably been the number one story because I'll tell you why. Good. Is NSA listening, Kenneth? Always. Big Brother's always listening. Ooh, here's a good time for our spooky intro, our distress, TNAM, flag upside down, nation in distress intro. Thank you, Ted Distel, for creating this wonderful graphic for us. There you have it. Flags upside down, signaling a nation in distress. Why is the nation in distress? Blake, Biden is pushing for civil war with his confusing border policy. That's why we're a nation in distress. Do you agree or disagree with that statement that Biden is pushing for a civil war with his confusing border policy?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. It's obviously a disaster. Let me pull up this story here. This is actually from a GOP congressman. Biden staging a civil war by taking down the Texas border barriers. So there's a big battle going on, right, between the state and Fed, Texas. And so Republican Representative Clay Higgins of Louisiana charged the Biden administration staging a civil war, removing razor wire barriers placed along sections from the Texas National Guard. So here is his tweet here. And of course, got the Supreme Court just ruled in favor of the Biden administration over the state of Texas, saying the federal government can remove physical barriers at the border put in place by Texas. What are your thoughts? Goes on to say, my thoughts are that the feds are staging a civil war and Texas should stand their ground. I agree. This is an invasion. And we have to respect the state's rights on this. So that's my view, but I am not a Supreme Court justice, and they voted 5-4.
Unbelievable, Blake.
Yeah. So, and they removed this. They removed the gates, removed the razor wire, removed these container walls. They're openly inviting the illegal immigration invasion. So the question is, why are they doing that? It seems like they are transforming this country. It's not going over so well. There's no reason for it.
Fundamentally transforming the country, just like Barack Obama promised when he was running to get elected. We're 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. This right now is the third and most honest term of Barack Hussein Obama. He wants this. This is happening globally. There's no climate crisis leading to this. This is human trafficking. This is a replacement of the native people of the United States. Yes, people were born here, multiple generations of people here. There's a small number of thoroughly vetted, highly capable people that we should allow in as temporary immigrants that have tracking capabilities from the federal government and strict constitutional guidelines. You have to become a citizen. You have to speak the language. You have to earn a living and not be a drain on society. They're doing all of the opposite. And so why are they doing it? Why did they file this motion in the first place? Because it was working. And what does that prove? The razor wire was working and the border barrier was working. It proves that the wall fucking works. That's what it's proving. It's proving that the wall works. So build the wall. I mean, there's no clearer. I mean, this border invasion has become the number one issue in the country. And I'm telling you once again, please be prepared from where the power goes out. Your cell phone doesn't turn on and all the sleeper cells are activated. You better be ready. You better have a plan for your family. You better have a plan for somewhere secondary to go in case your home is overrun or attacked. You need to have a plan with your neighbors, your neighborhood, your city, your local officials. You better have a plan in place because this is creepy. I saw that video of the guy yelling at someone who was filming him. He said, "Oh, you'll know why we're here real soon." threatening that I'm here on a mission. It was loud and clear, Blake. You're going to find out why I'm here. Blake, I'm telling you, we are getting set up for a takeover. But why did Obama, Joe Biden, why did this administration file this with the Supreme Court to stop Texas from doing it? It's because it worked. Why was Texas doing it? Because America doesn't want it and Texas doesn't want it. Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution says that the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. Blake, this is an invasion. Why is the invasion happening? Because you have blue cities and blue states that have been hemorrhaging people for years, since 2019, 2020 especially. Blake, you and I were both living in Los Angeles. What a totalitarian nightmare. People have fled California and New York and Washington and Oregon. They've gone to Texas. They've gone to Tennessee. They've gone to Florida. People want to live free. So now all these cities and states have lost a lot of census power. They've lost a lot of residents, and there's some sort of provision where they try to game the system and say, look, we can count illegal aliens on our census. We deserve to have more representatives in Congress. Congress should be based on population. Population should include illegal alien invaders. Like, this has to stop. I don't know at what level we need a constitutional amendment. I don't know what needs to change, but it seems like they're busing all these people. And look, for everything DeSantis and Abbott have been doing right, they are flooding Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles and San Francisco with more people to be Democrats. So Democrat, blue city, blue states can have more power. That's why this is happening. I mean, do you see this any other way as to why it's happening? They need to refill their cup of spilled milk.
Yes, all those reasons. Yes, absolutely. They're going to transform America and bring in a new voting bloc, and they're going to vote our rights away. They're going to change everything about it. So they're going to bring down America one way or another. And if they can just flood our borders with people that are not natives or that don't care about our country, then that's so be it. They'll ends justify the means as long as they can stay in power.
It's absurd.
So,
and I
hear you. Well, Brian, we gotta run here. I got 10 minutes and we still got like 4 stories left. So let me just do a quick just pull up the absurdity. Here's the other video from Joe Biden.
I was just trying to finish that sentence saying I'm curious to see what Governor Greg Abbott is going to do with it.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. I know. Yeah. So we'll see how that continues. So we've got a big battle. It's brewing on the border. Now we got a reporter talking to KJP, explain why Mayorkas says border is secure, but Biden says it isn't. So we got caught in another contradiction here. So let's check out Joe Biden, not prepared for a question. He's unable to adapt. This is why he's part of the reason why he's got to step down. He is not able to function the way a president should.
Do you think you can convince Bibi on a two-state solution?
What do you say to House Republicans who are trying to impeach Mayorkas, sir?
I don't get it.
Do you think it's unconstitutional?
Are you on the same page with
And do you believe that the border is secure, sir?
No, it's not. I haven't believed it for the last 10 years. But I've said it for the last 10 years.
Do you believe
Give me the money.
So he's admitting that the border has not been secure for over 10 years. He knows exactly what's going on.
And did he say, give me the money?
Yeah, so he's acting like
what an asshole.
They don't have enough money to secure the border, which is
they left the border wall rotting. It was there. All you had to do was install the pieces, and they tore parts of it down. They sold it off at 10 cents on the dollar. They let it rust to crap. You had the wall. All you had to do was put the Lego pieces together. They want this. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them gaslight you.
policies have enabled any of this crisis in the border?
No, I've asked for thousands more of everything from judges.
Thousands of more of everything from everywhere. He can't even care. He forgets already halfway through what he's talking about. So he can't keep his lies straight. So he's got that KJP. Well, actually, he had inadvertently admitted the truth there. That he knows that the border is not secure. And so then it's on KJP, the press secretary, to try to navigate through this disaster that he left for.
On Friday, President Biden said that he does not believe the border is secure, which is different from what Secretary Mayorkas has testified multiple times on the Hill. Why do they have two different views of the security of the border?
I mean, look, the president's been really clear, right? He has been clear that we need to move on the border.
not right.
The border he needs resources to deal with the situation at the border. That's
Liar.
why they're having these conversations at the Senate, on the Senate
Liar.
level, and that's why he's asking for more resources. And he wants to see additional resources, but also changes to policy to address what we've been seeing at the border. So him asking for it, him saying that we need to deal with the border security, as Mayorkas, as we all here have been doing at the White House, I think shows that, there's an issue at the border, we need to deal with it, and we have to act now. There's an urgent need to act now. We want to find a bipartisan agreement to deal with that, and so we feel that meaningful change and additional resources are critical at this time.
The word salad.
Sure, we have plenty of money to give to Ukraine, and
They took the
everyone
border and
else.
sold it for 10 cents on the dollar. It was sitting there rusting instead of being installed. She is so full of it. She's a traitor. But Jocelyn's saying that razor wire is still being placed on the border on private property with owner's permission. And that was my thought, Blake. Okay, so now you got to let them lift something up here. Why don't you take 10 steps back and build a wall right there then? Technically give them that and then build a wall right there. Like Abbott has to fight here. There is no country left if they don't fight here.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. He's been doing a great job. He's got the Texas National Guard out there, and they've been busing these immigrants to these sanctuary cities. I like what he's doing. So, and we don't want to.
But like I said, Blake,
have a country.
I don't know if busing them to the blue cities to refill their hemorrhaging population is the answer. You bus them back to Tijuana. You bus them back to pick a city on the other side of the border.
No, you got to show these Democrats and you got to show these blue cities like what's going on. They need to see how bad this administration is so that they will not support it.
The bus should just run directly around and dump them in Mexico. Let them pile up in Mexico. And you demand that Mexico works with you as a neighbor instead of a co-conspirator. I don't know. I get it, but like you're also giving them exactly what you want. But yeah, James is right. He said his father always told him if America was to be taken, it would be taken from within. And he was around during World War II. Very good sentiment there. Did you have anything else on this topic, sir?
No, we got to go. I got like a couple stories. We were started out so strong. Brian's like 45 minutes, the best 45 minutes. Now we're an hour and 45 minutes, and we still have more stories left.
We could do these another show if you're out of time.
No, it's all good. I know part of the thumbnail of the show was on the docket, and we're still not there. So anyway, it's all good, Brian. We got to get this winning formula down here so we can actually get a show done on time, and I'm not racing out the door. But it's all good. It's delightful to do these.
All right, the J6 pipe bombing.
Time management tightened up a little bit here.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
The J6 pipe bombing being a false flag cooked up by the feds, Blake. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, it seems to be that way. Yes, absolutely. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick. New footage showing Secret Service letting group of children walk past the pipe bomb planted ahead of January 6th. Newly analyzed footage from January 6th shows Secret Service let a group of children, this is planted outside the DNC after it was discovered by now what we learned is a plainclothes Capitol Police officer. And Tucker Carlson brought this up, speaking to Darren Beatty of Revolver News. This is a weird story. It seems like they planted this as a potential false flag that they were going to detonate if it was in fact real. But it's pretty alarming that they actually had school children walking around. They knew it was there. They've tried, but and of course the feds are getting grandmas that were peacefully walking through the Capitol, but they have no idea who placed the DNC pipe bomb or the RNC. So
were they real bombs or they were fakes?
I don't know. I don't know if they're functioning or not.
Vague. That
Right.
key component is still a little vague to me. Were they actual, or were they just prop?
I don't know. You can't get information on it because clearly the feds were involved in planning and running this whole operation. And my theory, obviously, is that if they couldn't get a riot going on at the Capitol, then they were going to detonate these things and blame it on MAGA.
All right. Well, I mean,
now they got
check out the videos and take a look. We're still trying to get more information there. Anything else to add on this?
Nope.
All right. What about X? We've reached the end of free speech on Elon Musk's X.
There is some very disturbing development with that. And yes, they are starting to crack down on what they were referring to as anti-Semitism, but it seems to be pretty broadly based. And a lot of accounts are getting shadow banned on this. So I'm getting pretty worried about this stuff. So X to ramping up censorship of anti-Semitism and hate speech in the wake of Musk visit to Auschwitz. So this, why is he hanging out with little Benny boy? So that's just weird in itself. It was kind of good maybe seeing Ben Shapiro get knocked down a few pegs. He's been wrong on a lot of major issues. He's even under fire from Candace Owens from within the Daily Wire. He's been under criticism for calling for what people are saying may be a genocide in Gaza. And various other issues, and it's not anti-Semitic. It's a skepticism of Zionism. But Elon Musk, for whatever reason, decided to go visit Auschwitz with Ben Shapiro, and it's great to have this memorial. This is one of the worst, darkest chapters in Earth history of what happened there, where people being sent to these god awful camps. So that's interesting, but what I don't like is the crackdown on some of these other accounts. So Elon is supposed to be a free speech absolutist, but this is not what's happening. Now there's a mandate. This has got Linda Yaccarino, who's, of course, worked for the World Economic Forum or was part of that outlet. So she's been viewed with skepticism as well. The mandate: we must protect free speech, safeguard information independence, while tackling anti-Semitism and hate speech. But there's there's a double standard that is obviously in play. And if you look, you can criticize pretty much every religion out there. This guy's saying, F Hindus, F non-atheists, F Christians, F Muslims. But if you say F Jews, then there's, visibility, you get a warning label. So it is a double standard. Not that people should be, putting out hate speech. I get that. But now you've got Elon Musk. He's gone to Israel, went to Auschwitz, said he's aspirationally Jewish. Thanked the ADL, wore a kippah, or wore a dog tag since leaving Israel. Now he's got the CEO specifically outlining anti-Semitism on X. There's clearly a people that take priority at X. And there's a lot of these pro-Palestinian accounts have been absolutely throttled. I will show you the numbers. Even Owen Schroyer of InfoWars is saying, if you say Zionist pigs, you can't. This violates X's rules. But you could say that about anybody else, and it's totally cool. So it's one racism against one group is worse than others. Let's see if there's more of these other accounts. I know they're showing some of the numbers that have been throttled here. Which article is it? Must be the next one. Yeah, anti-Zionist Twitter users see the reach plummet. Some of them actually been completely censored. So here's censored men. What is going on at X? Large number of creators reported a similar pattern regarding accounts analytics, engagement up, impressions down. So they're showing, Stu Peters, Carolina the Savior, Bebo, AF. Some of these people, I think, like Lucas Gage, have been he's been banned there for a while for showing a picture of a fire extinguisher, and they were trying to make that was an anti-Semitic, that he was making some sort of reference there. So and show these engagement numbers. Even Nuance Bro is on there, who I think is a pretty reasonable guy. His impressions are down 77%. It's anybody who's criticizing Zionism. Another one, Dom Luker, who this guy is unusual, but he puts out some interesting content. He is being throttled pretty hard as well. So it seems like, yes, there's going to be a double standard. And I don't like to see that. And one of the things that has been alarming to me is just not that is zero anti-Semitic. I don't care what this is a freedom of religion in this country. We don't care. What I do care is if we're being infiltrated by Zionist interests or Israeli intelligence operation. That looks like our entire government.
You mean like
and
Mossad
some of the major people,
and Jeffrey Epstein in the island?
Absolutely, all of this stuff. So I don't like seeing this, and we're putting, Benny Boy Shapiro on, a pedestal. I don't trust this guy. I think he's a far more pro-Israel than he is pro-America, and he's been called out by that by Tucker Carlson and everything. And it's weird seeing all these like big conservative Christians, seem to love Ben Shapiro so much, but he thinks, Jesus is just like a petty criminal that revolted against the Romans. So here he is in his own words.
I think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written,
he was just a prophet. And
significant. No. We don't even believe he was a prophet.
They don't believe Jesus is a prophet. So even Muslims love Jesus as a prophet, but Ben is strict into his Zionist Judaism. Thinks basically Jesus was a troublemaker for the Romans, and they also have other ideas of what Jesus is. It's not very good. And I'm not a big Christian or a religious guy. I've always been skeptical of this guy, and he's got a lot of big money interests, and he's got Israeli intelligence around him. And to see him shoulder to shoulder with Elon Musk is a very alarming trend. And the way that they're cracking down on free speech, I don't like it. But anyway, I think that's all I've got time for, Brian. Definitely wanted to get that. That was part of the thumbnails. It was a key story. I know you don't like to talk about these issues, but it's all good. It has to be said.
No, I mean, look, Brian, Blake, today's show could have had 5 different headlines. This is a massive news.
It's all good. All right. Right. No. It's all good. It's all fun. We're still hammering out the perfect formula here, and we'll just keep continuing and see if we can. Yes, we'll just keep these shows going. So I guess we'll see you Thursday, but I have got to run. All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody. It's been delightful. Wish we had a little bit more time, but we don't. But we'll catch you next time. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Blake.
All right.
Follow Blake
Thanks,
on
Brian.
Twitter. He's at TV's Blake Walley and thenextlevelnews.com. Yeah, I mean, we start off like gangbusters today, so I guess in the comments, would you rather just have like a 45-minute show where it's just topic, and go? Or do you like the fact that we incorporate your thoughts, your comments, the extra layers of nuance? We, instead of just 5 or 6 stories, we also call audibles, and we mention 5 to 15 ancillary stories. And we pull things up. Oh, what about this? Did you happen to see this? By the way, look what Luke tweeted out. Let's talk about that. I mean, we talked about that for a while, but that was exciting to me. That wasn't even in the stack. We call the stack the group of stories that we talk about on the day. Put it in the stack. And so, I send Blake stuff on Telegram. He sends me stuff through email. Then we kind of put the show together based on the things I sent him, then the things that he came up with. I put it all copy paste. Then I fire up Restream and get the show going, and then make all the captions for the show that you're reading down here that we've reached the end of free speech for Elon Musk's X. That's a tough. Blake always hands me sentences that are like impossible to read. So I try to overly enunciate the tricky ones. Yeah, Blake, he doesn't want to rush out the door. And, so it was like, yeah, I kind of just started like no introductions. Let's just get right into the show and just topic number 1. But yeah, I mean, we took a few detours, and I thought it was an awesome show today. But I'm curious, what do you think? Leave me a comment. Tell me what you're thinking. Let me see if, Musk being pulled Elon. Musk being pulled Elon. Yeah, it's just a matter of, what's going to get this show 10x the audience, 100x the audience, 1000x the audience. Blake doesn't think that long form shows are things that people enjoy listening to. I love 2-hour or longer shows. I'll listen to hour shows, but I like the long format. I like having a chance to really flesh stories out. So it is just kind of a question that we're trying to figure out. So in the comments, do you think would your preference be to just do a 45 to 60 minute jam-packed, really on focus, just kind of, I don't want to sway what I want your vote to be because I think long form is my natural habitat. But I mean, a more boring show? I mean, shit, I laughed at that. The blood of liberty. He sounds so stupid, Joe Biden does, and that microphone feedback just caught me, and I probably laughed for 5 minutes on this show. But I think that might have been entertaining. Now, maybe it's goofy and unprofessional, as Blake and I, we're just trying to figure out the right way to market the show. And, we want to take the show and splice a 2-hour show into bite-sized pieces, topic by topic by topic. I mean, I don't know. We're just trying to figure it out because we've been doing this content for 12 years at the New American Media. We have the audience that we have, but it's like, wouldn't it be nice if this could become the thing that we've always wanted it to? What if this could dominate and start to really get some traction and really, what do you call any business? You want to start paying the bills, take it from what it is. It's a company concept. It's theoretically, but like, how do you take it up to that next level? So yeah, Blake always has a heart out, and I probably could have crushed through and just stayed on track and gone for 45 minutes or 60 minutes. But that's my question to you. Would you rather have a tighter show, or would you Oh, Deb from Sax said she loves my bird noises. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't know I was going to do that skit. I'm just having fun. Yeah, look, that bird noise, trust me, that was not in the stack. I had no pre-prepared. I did just until Blake pulled that, because Nikki Haley's affairs were not a part of the show stack. These are all the news stories, but it's all connected. There's 1,000 things we're trying to talk about. We only do 2 live shows a week. Now, I guess maybe if we did a show a night, 5 or 7 shows, then maybe it wouldn't be so long in between news cycles. And I'm trying to go back to Sunday and talk about DeSantis. It's already Tuesday. It's less relevant. We're already on to the New Hampshire thing. So Deb says she likes that it includes you. I love including listeners. I think it's the coolest. I love that we get together, we break bread, and we talk about the stuff that there's to talk about. It's my favorite part of the show. But I mean, I get what Blake is, saying. Deb is saying she used to be one of those Christian conservatives, or conservative Christians. Yeah, that's I was raised a born again Christian. That is how I identify. I haven't been in church in a while. I would probably like to go again. It's been a long time. Hang on a second. What are you doing here? Deb from Sac saying she only needs cold showers after watching Anomaly. Deb, have you seen my series of interviews with AJ? I've done Anomaly videos for years. Not Politicon. Where did we talk with him? At NAM twice. Conscious Life Expo. No, we did talk with him at Politicon. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but if you haven't watched my Anomaly interviews and videos, please check them out. Just search The New American Media or Brian Engelman and Anomaly. Anyway, let's see. Trader of Joe. Yeah, Trader Joe's. That's what that administration has turned into. That's why Tallahassee might be the new capital of America. I mean, the federal government has completely betrayed us. Yeah, seriously, my bird noises. I didn't know I was going to do that. But it's moments like that made me chuckle, like literally. And I feel like part of doing a show is improv. You kind of have a general guideline of where you're going. And I love the improvisational aspect of performance. I always have. And yeah, some jokes will land. Some jokes kind of come out clunky. Some jokes is like, ooh, I said that wrong. Or, I said something I didn't really mean. I want to backtrack it. I don't do tons of that. But I mean, talk for as many thousands of hours as I have on recorded medium, you're going to say some things you might not want. And if you had more things planned and produced, yeah, you'll have less improv and less mistakes, but I think you'll have less awesome moments that just happened organically by bringing us all together. Maybe a comment that you said got me thinking a different way, and I love that. Elongate. Yeah, Elon. What was this other comment? That it's soon to be paid speech. Yeah, paid speech. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Elon Musk. I meant to bring this up with Blake, but once again, he has a hard out when he has to bounce. But I have long suspected that maybe X is really just a way to fake letting us think that we had a free platform to speak on again. Permission to speak freely? Permission granted. The blood of liberty. I really want to clip that out as just a standalone. Actually, that would be really funny to take that and just release that as a short. Just me laughing my ass off at the blood of liberty. But I've suspected that maybe Elon is just getting us to think we have the ability to speak freely, and it's just as deep state run as it ever has been. And he's using it to understand what we really believe so that he can use Grok, his artificial intelligence tools, to learn how, Elon has a game plan to get inside of our brains. The Neuralink. Of course, if you have a tool like Twitter, it's not just that I'm a champion of free speech. And yeah, maybe you are, but maybe you're using it mainly to get information. You're buying the database, you're buying all of that, the trends and tendencies. And so I've had a sneaking suspicion about Elon. I've loved a lot of what he said and a lot of what he's done. But yeah, I don't fully understand this kiss the ring thing. Blake and I, we've had our disagreements about Gaza and what's going on over there, and that's fine. But yeah, I just don't like this where some groups can be attacked and other groups can't. I was watching a show and somebody mentioned that he thought a commenter thought he was racist, and he laughed and laughed and laughed. It sounds like you're protesting too much. Thou protesteth too much. It's almost like you laughed away. Now, did you laugh it away because it was so untrue, or did you laugh the accusation away because you don't think black people can be racist? So this was a sports show I was talking about, but it was a conversation about Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson. But he didn't even address the claim. He just, it was really over the top. And it's like, well, do you have a bad idea that only certain people can be racist? Or, was it just so silly to you? And so, you look at the bad ideas on Twitter. Should we be allowed to voice opinions? Should we be allowed to say things that are unpopular? I mean, the First Amendment was not put into place for popular speech. The First Amendment is so that uncomfortable, unpleasant speech can have a chance to see the light of day. And yeah, the ADL, you talked about Anomaly. Anomaly's done shows on this, and as we have as well. And Blake is very uncomfortable with the relationship with Israel and the United States. And, just kind of at times seems like our entire government has been taken over. And you're like, well, what's going on? You think about Mossad and Jeffrey Epstein and his island. It's like, this is all just a honeypot so that you can put these politicians in your back pocket and run the United States. Then we keep funding these wars. And then it's this whole thing. But, Blake points out that you can say all sorts of nasty stuff about some groups of people. Dare I say all groups of people, except one group. Well, what the hell is that about? Isn't what's good for the goose good for the gander? And it's like Blake said, that's not to say that, I'm going to harbor some malicious, malignant ideas and bigoted thoughts and philosophies, but who determines? What's that quote? It doesn't matter who you vote for, it matters who counts the votes. Who's to determine? Lisa asked Homer Simpson, if you're the police, who will police the police? I don't know, Coast Guard? It's just a matter of who's going to determine what hate speech is. There's free speech laws. You're allowed to be hateful. You're not allowed to organize criminal activity. Now, what we're doing, calling out treason and traitors, these are people that have usurped the Constitution. These are people that have clearly violated the restrictions that have been placed on them by our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our governing documents, and, a couple hundred years of jurisprudence, precedent, calling traitors is not calling for violence. It's calling for justice. It's calling for help. It's raising the American flag upside down and going, my God, help us. Who files these treason charges? I weep for every family that's had an illegal alien invader do something horrible to their family. Man, I've the past couple days, past couple weeks, I've been scrolling and I see just some awful content. Interviews, police reports, stories, just none of it had to happen. None of it should have happened. And it's what the Democrats stand for. And I meant it when I was talking about Trump. Please, less Trump, more MAGA movement. Put 10 faces up front. Let them fight for you. Just take a step back. People like your policies. They kind of dislike you in large doses. I can definitely relate to that. A little bit of me goes a long way. A little bit of Trump goes a long way. But yeah, I mean, we'll see if X is still going to allow freedom of speech or not. You know, that's why we've added a couple of new channels, and I'm just going to take this opportunity to ask you to join them. What's a dreamer saying? I don't think Elon is the crusader that people want to think he is. Okay, that's fair. He continues, back in the AD&D days, he would be called lawful neutral. Lawful neutral. And yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, neutral is better than this globalist totalitarian push, this nudge into a dystopian nightmare. And that's what we're warning against, what we're fighting for. But I mean, if there's people in Washington that think Texas doesn't have the right to defend their country, they're a republic of Texas, by the way. They're a state, but they're also a republic. If there are people in D.C. and on the Supreme Court that think they don't have the right, you got that backward. Article 4, Section 4, you have to stop an invasion, and that is what this is. They've created a superhighway, multiple superhighways of invaders here. And highly vetted people with skills should have a chance to kind of come in and do it the right way, but everything about this is wrong. So, you know, we'll see how it all shakes out. Deb was saying that she has watched some of those shows. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Kenneth is asking if he can help. Yeah, sure. How would you like to help, Kenneth? How can you help? Send me a message. What do you mean that you can help, and how would you like to help? We like help. Let's see. Deb is saying, Brian, you and I are a lot alike. We are our own best audience and crack ourselves up. Look, today cracked me up. The blood of liberty. I'm telling you, my cartoon brain hears that echo, that feedback from the microphone in his over enunciation of that. And he got the quote wrong. You know, that's the part I was trying to get to. Explain to Blake that was on the game show, and I blurted out Playgirl, because the casting director Bev, she's like, I don't want you to ring in and go Playgirl. No, you got to ring in and with confidence say Playgirl, like give your answer definitively. That's television. That's how you need to do that. So I rang the blood of liberty. I was wrong. The feedback in the microphone, I was so wrong. It was like you could have heard a pin drop. It was so funny. But yeah, I was my best audience today. I don't know that I've ever laughed like that on a show before. I'm glad you all got to participate in that. Deb continues, kiss my grits, not my ring. What's this? LGBTQ, don't piece them off. Dave Chappelle quote. Yeah, I mean, you know, do your thing. Just like out of my face with it. I don't want to hear your locker room talk from heterosexuals either. I just don't want to hear it. Like I'm super not interested. Yeah, Kenneth is talking about just make sure that you give us our bread and circus. Look, I do a sports show called The Unhappy Hour. So I do the sports show as well. There's a time and a place. I like having a balance between all of that. So anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you today. I appreciate you watching today's show. Make sure you follow Blake at TV's Blake Walley and The Next Level News. Our homepage, should we disappear on all platforms, TheNewAmericanMedia.com. TheNewAmericanMedia.com. Go to YouTube, youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. If you're not subscribed, I need you to quickly do this, just in all the places. On Instagram, The New American Media. On Facebook, TNAMS, TNAM, The New American Media. TNAMS, '*S, TNAMS, The Agree to Disagree Show. Private group and our page, The New American Media. On X, we're at American_media_. On Telegram, we're at TNAM and TNAM Chat. TNAM and TNAM Chat on Telegram. Telegram's a good backup method, really. We also are on Odyssey. All of our original YouTube videos are there. It's a backup account, Odyssey. Just search The New American Media. Rumble, The New American Media. And then Spotify, it's our podcast, The New American Media. Please subscribe. We need subscribers and viewers there. I think that's all the places. So thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, I'll probably go live or I'll do a short on the YouTube channel later today. Once Nikki Haley gets blown out. I'm sorry, Nimarata Nikki Rhonda Hawa Haley, who wants you to use your real name online, by the way. Pot, meat, kettle. But yeah, Facebook, that private group, we're active nonstop. On Twitter, we're active nonstop, and we upload everything into Rumble and the other places as well. Went live on Instagram yesterday, which was rare, kind of new. So make sure you're following us there as well. So thank you so much. Your collaboration with me on the episode today was the highlight of my day. So thank you so much. We'll be back on Thursday. Signing out for Blake Walley, myself here at The New American Media. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Peace.